What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got Joe Burrow has lost touch with reality. Let's check this out.
We all want to stay together.
Okay.
So when you have guys that are motivated like that, you can get those things done.
I'm very worried about you with what you're saying. We got to keep Jamar Chase. We got to keep T. Higgins. We got to keep.
Bengals might be fucked. I ain't gonna lie. I did hear Joe Burrow is willing to take a salary cut though.
So much love and so much respect for Joe Burrow. I have so much love for the top quarterbacks of the AFC, whether it's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or Joe Burrow. Honestly, I wish some of these quarterbacks played in the NFC because it seems like it's way harder to make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC as opposed to the NFC, where respectfully, all the NFC quarterbacks just seem to be great system QBs with very good supporting casts. But that's besides the point. Despite my respect for Joe Burrow, there's no question about it. This man has officially lost his mind. And this could really screw over the Bengals for years to come. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NFL news to your device.
You already know he gonna, you know what I'm saying? We gonna skip right past this shit.
The sponsor. Mic check.
W Snipe.
1-2-1-2. What's going on, everybody? Joe Burrow has been a breath of fresh air for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ever since being selected #1 overall in the 2020 NFL Draft, he's been nothing but incredible. Following his rookie
that nigga just need a defense though, bro.
A major decision to make. What do they do to support Joe Burrow? Do they get Penei Sewell to protect his blind side, or do they draft his buddy from LSU, Jamar Chase? Joe Burrow urged the Cincinnati Bengals to draft Jamar Chase, and the rest is history.
That's peanut butter and jelly right there, though.
To the Super Bowl in Jamar Chase's rookie season, and would come close to defeating the LA Rams, but ultimately would lose. And since then, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals would have very unique seasons. I mean, in 2022, they would start out the season 2-3, but would finish off strong, winning their next 11 games and losing only 1 game, bulldozing through the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills.
He still almost beat them with a backup QB
the
though.
Kansas City Chiefs by 3 in the AFC Championship. In 2023, Joe Burrow would have an opportunity to sign a 5-year, $275 million contract extension. A contract that I was personally disappointed about. Burrow would surpass Justin Herbert to become the highest
that offseason was crazy though.
With an average annual
when
salary
LJ got paid, Hurts.
The reason why I was disappointed by this decision is because Joe Burrow has clearly seen the model that brings success in the NFL. I'm not saying that quarterbacks are overpaid. I'm not saying that these poor owners need to spend way too much on quarterbacks and you should try to put more money in their pocket. What I am saying is, if you take a look at the way Patrick Mahomes has handled his career, it's very obvious that he's aware of the Tom Brady model.
Mahomes is the
Nah, for real though, like I don't know why a lot more quarterbacks are not taking that into account, bro. The reason Brady has been to 10 Super Bowls and has won 7 out of the 10 because he's always been willing to take a pay cut. You know what I'm saying? He's always been willing to spend money elsewhere, bro, to be able to win more championships. A lot more athletes got to have that more mindset, bro. Right. Especially QBs, bro.
Or 200.
They got to start having that mindset.
He's saying, no, Mahomes will obliterate it.
He should obliterate it. He literally is the best quarterback in football. This is what every team wants. That guy. They have the guy. Like, reward him for what he's done in his short career already.
Yeah, I'll take Patrick Mahomes. You can have my whole team, and I'll just build a team around Patrick Mahomes.
Like, we're good. Like, we're good.
And I bring this up frequently in my content. In order to win a Super Bowl, you need a lot of pieces in play. You need an incredible quarterback or solid role players around an above average quarterback. You need excellent coaching and game management. You need to make
that's a big thing. Hey, coaching is a big aspect a lot of people are not talking about for real.
The best quarterback in the NFL, maybe even the greatest quarterback of all time when this is all said and done, on the 16th highest paid contract. This contract allows the Kansas City Chiefs to make huge investments in their team. Players like Chris Jones and Joe Thuney and Jawan Taylor and Creed Humphrey, in addition to Travis Kelce, to make Patrick Mahomes' job
Kelce need to
easy.
retire,
and
bro.
Ultimately, I believe this is the reason why Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are able to win so many Super Bowls. They're relatively underpaid despite being within the top 3 best players at their position at the time that they're playing. They have excellent coaching and a remarkable supporting cast. And it seems like they're very aware that this needs to be done in order to win Super Bowls. But at the end of the day, it's worth it because when you win Super Bowls, you end up getting endorsement deals Bengals, you end up cultivating a following and a fan base, you're able to make up the difference in that money anyway. And when Joe Burrow accepted this 5-year, $275 million contract extension, he pretty much kissed his opportunities goodbye. Now, I know what you might be saying, Mike, Jalen Hurts pretty much makes the same amount of money, but the Philadelphia Eagles found a way to cut costs around Jalen Hurts as well. Like last year, they extended A.J. Brown.
That shit was so smart. Him and Smitty, that was the smartest shit I've ever seen, bro. Like, Howie Roseman has got to go down in history as one of the best GMs of all time. Like, dang.
And as a result, we're able to sign Saquon Barkley. They also hit on their draft picks, so they don't need to extend those contracts for a while. And in the case of Jalen Hurts, you have a system QB with a remarkable supporting cast, but it doesn't really matter because they end up winning football games. So with that being said, Joe Burrow accepted a 5-year, $275 million contract extension, and in turn hasn't made it to the playoffs since signing this contract extension. Primarily because he's been dealing with injuries, and the Bengals have this weird knack of always getting off to a terrible start to start the season. I don't know if it's a preparation thing, but in this past season in particular, the Bengals had a brand new problem. Their offense was the most prolific it's ever been in the Joe
defense,
Burrow era,
man. I mean, that's what happens when you spend most of your money on offense, bro. You don't have no money for defense. They're paying Joe Burrow big money. They revamped their offensive line after what 2021 or something like that. They revamped that. You gotta pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? Trey Hendrickson wants to get paid. So y'all have to start paying guys on defense to come in and play, bro. If not, bro, the same shit is gonna keep happening each and every year. Offense gonna be, you know what I'm saying, really good, and the defense is gonna suck ass.
By not extending Jamar Chase as soon as possible.
That shit was dumb. I don't know why the fuck they didn't re-sign that nigga last season.
Pay him CD Lamb money. In an ideal scenario, you pay Jamar Chase before Justin Jefferson and CD Lamb get their contract extensions. But now, since they took so long to extend Jamar Chase, instead of having the opportunity to extend him following the season where he had 1,216 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns, you now have to extend him after the best season of his career, where he had over 1,700 receiving yards and an absurd 17.
This nigga gonna break the bank. Bengals, y'all are fucked. And as a Ravens fan, I love that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all are fucked. So you can say goodbye to T. Higgins. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You can say goodbye to T. Higgins because that nigga Chase gonna eat most of that cap up.
And that's not the only problem. The Cincinnati Bengals have other really good players that are up for contract extension, like Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins. And this is where the problem starts. I mean, Jamar Chase has admitted to us that he's just toying with the Cincinnati Bengals at this point, because at this point, you do need to sign him to a better contract than Justin Jefferson. He was the best wide receiver in the NFL this past year, statistically speaking.
So I wish I could sign T myself and have it with me, for eternity.
Do you think there's a world in which the three of you can stay here and play here for the long term?
Yeah, it's possible. It's 100% possible. You gotta play chess in that situation, but it's possible.
And the worst part of all is Joe Burrow seems to be absolutely delusional about how to handle this situation.
You don't want to make a habit of letting great players get out of the building. Chief's a great player and a guy that does everything the right way. You have a guy like that, you just can't let him get out of the building.
The Cincinnati Bengals have $46.5 million in cap space this offseason. They're set to lose Orlando Brown Jr., Sam
That nigga suck
Alex
anyway.
Papa, Sheldon Rankins, potentially Jamar Chase. I mean, there's a lot of...
Oh my gosh, they losing half of their fucking roster.
Of $46.2 million. That's going to increase to $48 million next year and $52.2 million the year after. Yet he's going around and just saying, hey, Bengals, just make it happen.
You know, we have the cap space to get it done.
Right.
I want to make it happen. Everybody involved, Trey, T, Jamar, Mike G, we all want to stay together. And so when you have guys
That's not gonna happen, bro. Like, now I see why the title is named this, bro. This nigga is definitely delusional. Motherfucker, this is not Madden. You can't keep every single superstar player, bro, when you got salary cap turned on. Cause you gotta pay Jamar. Like, how much is Jettis getting paid? Hold on, we finna look that shit up right now, gang. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so this nigga is getting paid 4 year, $140 million, averaging $35 million a year. Chase, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Chase might get $40 million a year. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That nigga might get $40 million a year, bro. Bengals are about to be fucked.
motivated like that, you can get those things done.
No, Joe Burrow thinks that it somehow, some way, despite having 2 wide receiver ones hitting the open market, that the Bengals, by some miracle, can get Jamar Chase back and T. Higgins back, and then at the same time sign Trey Hendrickson.
It's not gonna happen.
It's really funny because
this ain't Madden, bro.
Joe Burrow saying this about Trey Hendrickson.
We need Trey back. We need to give him what he's worth and what he deserves. He's earned that.
I'm very worried about you with what you're saying. We got to keep Jamar Chase. We got to keep T. Higgins. We got to keep Trey Hendrickson. You got to keep a whole.
Like, Joe, you got nobody to blame but yourself, my nigga. You wanted the big contract. If it's me personally, like, obviously I would have wanted a nice little contract, you know what I'm saying, to help my family and shit. But, bro, not enough money that I can't bring back my superstar teammates. I'm trying to win a fucking ring. Like, bro, he got nobody to blame but himself for this.
That ownership, you confident they're gonna be
like, gang,
all of those guys?
take a pay cut, nigga.
TV deals, so that can continue to go up.
TV money.
You know, we all want to stay together, so we're
fuck
all
Cam
going to do
Newton
what it
got
takes
on, bro?
to do that.
Trey Hendrickson's going on the Pat McAfee show saying, I want to win the Bengals a Super Bowl, even if it means trading me for draft picks.
Bengals ain't winning a
It's
Super Bowl
something
no
that
time
helps
soon.
the
I'm gonna keep it a
Bengals
buck
win
with
Super
you.
Bowl if they get picks or anything like that. I want to help win a Super Bowl for Cincinnati if I'm there or not.
And look, I know what fans are going to be saying, but Mike, Joe Burrow could restructure his contract, and that is true. But fans think restructuring a contract means that Joe Burrow just goes up to the Bengals and says, hey, here's some of my money back. What restructuring a contract means is lessening Joe Burrow's cap hit for this season and pushing it towards the end of this contract. And this is where things get very problematic, because let's say you do bring back Jamar Chase, and he's decided to take a bit of a pay cut. He decides to get paid as much as CeeDee Lamb this year. CeeDee Lamb's cap number for this season is $35.4 million. That brings down the Cincinnati Bengals to $11.1 million of cap space. But then at the same time, Trey Hendrickson is in the scrub. You guys may have not been paying attention, but over the past 2 seasons, Trey Hendrickson has been arguably the best edge rusher in the entire NFL. The man had 17.5 sacks in the 2023 season.
Back-to-back seasons. Oh my gosh.
One of the worst defenses in the entire NFL. Could you just imagine that? The man is entering...
Like, imagine that Bengals defense with no Trey Hendrickson. You thought they were bad this year? Bro, y'all gonna get a rude awakening. Because I don't think he coming back either, bro.
So you might be wondering,
I don't think he coming back either.
Make this year? Well, it's a pretty interesting range because there's a huge jump for edge rushers this past year. Nick Bosa was the most recent edge rusher to get extended at $34 million. Micah Parsons is set to get a contract extension, but he claims he's willing to take a pay cut, but I personally don't buy it. I personally expect Parsons to be at least $35 million, especially if you're going to make the argument that there's going to be new TV deals, so the cap's going to go up. So you need to pay Trey Hendrickson $35 million. You need to pay Jamar Chase minimum $34 or $35 million. And then comes the question of T. Higgins. If you want to take a look at the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, we already talked about it. This is what the table looks like. It's Justin Jefferson, then CeeDee Lamb, then AJ Brown.
Like, bro, I could definitely see Jamar Chase getting paid $40 million, bro. Like, he definitely deserves it. I mean, maybe I'm pushing it a bit. Maybe like 36 mil. But, like, he definitely deserves $40 million a year. I'm going to keep it a buck, bro.
T. Higgins wants to do a favor for the Cincinnati Bengals and just get paid as the highest paid wide receiver 2 in the entire NFL.
Imagine.
The highest paid wide receiver 2 currently is Jalen Waddle at $28.25 million. And he's coming off of a pretty bad season for himself. Let's say
they had shitty QB play.
You know, maybe you get paid
You got
as much
Tyler
as
Huntley at
Smith,
QB1.
$25
Like,
million
bruh.
a year. Do you guys see the problem at this point? You're not able to pay $25 million to T. Higgins, assuming he's willing to take a pay cut, and Trey Hendrickson $30 million, assuming that he's willing to take a bit of a pay cut as well. And then at the same time, pay Jamar Chase $35 million a year when you only have $46.5 million in cap space. Sure, it can be done, but even if it could be done, should it be done? Like, for the Philadelphia Eagles, they were a fairly evenly balanced team, and even now, they currently have $18 million in cap space left over. Offensively and defensively.
And, like, bro, and people saying that they finna get Myles Garrett. That's not gonna happen, gang. And after what I just saw in the Super Bowl, y'all don't need that nigga. Like, bro.
This team is one of the worst defensive teams in the NFL and one of the best offensive teams in the NFL as well. I don't think we've ever seen a season like this where Joe Burrow literally threw for nearly
almost 5,000.
5,000.
Like, if anything, bro, I would have been more comfortable with Burrow winning the MVP. Burrow or Saquon. Like, real shit. Cause I kind of wish the Bengals would have made the damn playoffs. I'm gonna keep
9
it a buck.
interceptions. Jamar Chase had 1,700 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns. Yet the Bengals weren't good enough to even make it into the playoffs. The clear need here is to.
That's what happens when you start off slow, bro, and lose to the damn Patriots in the opener.
There's a lot of teams
Like, bro,
a wide receiver one that do have cap space that are also contenders. I mean, T. Higgins has his pick of the litter. I mean, he could go to the Washington Commanders.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
I
think that's what's gonna happen, bro.
Throwing him the ball for the rest of his career, and Cliff Kingsbury crafting an offense around it.
He definitely gonna be a commander. He's not going to the Patriots. That boy want to win a ring, bro.
And the Patriots have $120 million in cap space. The
Damn.
Commanders have $78 million in cap space. I mean, T. Higgins could go to the Chargers. They have $63 million in cap space. They really need a wide receiver one. Why would he take a pay cut to be the wide receiver?
Lyle McConkey's definitely wide receiver one, so don't say that.
Would have him in a higher role.
Lyle McConkey definitely wide receiver one type.
At the end of the day, if Joe Burrow really wanted to retain Trey Hendrickson, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, he would have signed for a little less money. If he just took $45 million a year, then that would have been more than enough at this point to make sure you keep your buddies afloat and have some money left over to invest in other aspects of the team. But he didn't decide to do that, did he? And I'm not calling him greedy because at the end of the day, it's hard to turn down that amount of money. But as the old saying goes, you can't have your cake and eat it too. If I had to choose 2 out of 3, I would make sure I kept Trey Hendrickson and Jamar Chase. I think the Bengals.
Yeah, because like Bengals can realistically replace T. Higgins, you know what I'm saying, in the offseason, like real shit, or in the draft. Because it's a pretty good wide receiver class. They might not get T Mac, you know what I'm saying, but they can definitely get a receiver like Ibuka or, you know what I'm saying, Matthew Golden or something. They're not gonna be like T. Higgins, you know what I'm saying. T. Higgins is a big difference maker, especially with the height and shit. But they can definitely replace him in the offseason.
Trading T. Higgins throughout the
But you're not replacing
season,
Jamar Chase
I think
or
what
Trey
will probably happen
Hendrickson,
is
like
they'll
real
try to
shit.
Tag and trade T. Higgins so they can at least get something in return for him. But I don't expect T. Higgins to be a member of the Bengals next year. I think that tag might be used on Trey Hendrickson instead because he's an older pass rusher. He's going into his age 31 season. But let me know in the comment section down below if you're a Bengals fan. How do you feel about
I'm
this?
not a Bengals
Aside from
fan.
that, I don't know if you heard, but Cooper Kupp is about to get traded.
Yeah, I saw that.
made a whole
That's
separate
gonna
video
be
on
interesting,
that. I'll
bro.
leave it in the end
I wouldn't
screen.
mind him being a Raven, you know what I'm saying, like a
Pretty
vet
unique.
minimum
He
deal.
might even team up with Pete Carroll on the Raiders. How? Well, we have a separate video on that as well. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Hey, man. Excuse me. This is going to be very interesting offseason, bro. I'm not going to lie. I think free agency starts in, like 4 or 5 weeks? It's going to be interesting. You know what I'm saying? You got Myles Garrett potentially getting traded. And if Myles Garrett gets traded, Denzel Ward said he wants to get traded too, so he might be gone. Debo getting traded. Cooper Kupp getting traded. A-Rod and Devontae Adams might be free agents. T. Higgins going to be a free agent. Who else, bro? Who else am I missing, gang? Like, this free agency might be the craziest free agency we're gonna ever see, bro. Like, real shit. Oh my gosh, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait to cover all the news on this shit too. Like, that's a lot of content right there for me to cover. Like, bro, it's about to be very interesting. I ain't gonna lie, man. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other, you know what I'm saying, NFL videos you want me to react to. Without further ado, I'm out.
I'm chosen. I'ma make them feel me. Make them people when they show me. And if you don't know me, I'ma make sure that you know me. I hate to say it, but I really think I'm broke. But I know I'm chosen. I really know I'm chosen. I know I'm chosen. I was just lost a year ago, but now I'm focused. When good at sports, this microphone can be my trophy. Not taking drugs, I found a better way of coping.